Hi, this is Ravit Rose, founder of iRoo. Super pleased to be here with Jim Lisi, who is Business Valuations in California. And we're going to be specifically talking about if your other spouse is the CEO and you're not. You weren't involved in the business. You don't know what's happening. You don't know how much it's worth. You don't know what they're earning. You don't know anything about the sales. Perhaps you are a stay-at-home mom and you took care of the children, the house, whatever it is, and husband went to work. What do you do now? So we understand that the level of anxiety and stress is very high at this point, but we want to provide you some tips and strategies to lower the tension by understanding which professional could help you. Now, the automatic gut reaction is let's just hire a shark badass lawyer, and that lawyer is going to get all the information. Lawyers are very good and they've learned how to deal with the law. They haven't learned to deal with finances. So it's very important that you do not rely on your lawyer to give you financial advice. It's best not to have the lawyer draft out clauses in your divorce agreement in their own words because they could write it in a way which could harm you in the future, where you could possibly lose money, you could lose assets, you could whatever it is you're desired may not be achievable because it wasn't written properly. And it's not entirely their fault because it's not their area of expertise. So Jim is here with us to give us some information, some guidance as to what can you do. You're not the CEO, you haven't been involved in the business, you're not really sure what's happening in there. What do you do? How do you go to your lawyer with accurate information? How do you start analyzing based on facts and numbers rather than on emotions? This is super, super critical. It's going to reduce your legal fees significantly. It's also going to cut the tension between you and the other parent significantly because you're going to be talking at the same level. When you're talking numbers, you're at the same level. When you're at emotions, it's always this rocky imbalance. So thank you, Jim, for being here with us. Really looking forward to hearing your wisdom. What can a stay-at-home mom do at this point?
Oh, yeah, obviously the information is all in the hands of your spouse. So the number one thing to do is to get the information that we need. So we're going to ask the lawyer to get access to the company. And so it's the access to the company that's number one. And then we're going to have a forensic accountant who may be the CPA for you uh, to go in and pull the information out. So we need financial reports. We need to look at whether or not something's being hidden or not. That's the forensic accounting part. You don't want anything being, you want to expose everything that's hidden. And then we have something called the quality of earnings, which looks at whether the things are going to continue to in the same vein as they currently are. So if you go look for a professional, that's the one where you want the forensic accountant, CPA person. You'd like that person to be able to go in and do all that together, right? And so the whole discovery is important. The other thing is we have to have an interview of the company too, an evaluation. We have to understand where it's headed. That's the harder piece to get. Um, so if I have a divorce where people are working together and actually in the same business, I will actually have each spouse do the interview. And then I'll look at the differences and maybe I'll ask some questions and try to resolve them. But if I can get two viewpoints, I can act as judge before the judge and resolve some of those things and put those into the appraisal. If we only have one side, well, we do the best we can with the data we have. I don't know if you can get another person in the company, like a controller or somebody else, to fill these interviews out. But if somebody else in the company can give a viewpoint on it, that can become part of the valuation. So the company value is both numbers and the story of the company, where it's been and where it's headed. And so we need those two pieces, and we have to have access. So we're working through the lawyer to get access, and then we have the right professional getting into the numbers And if we have to do subpoenas or something to get other interview questions done, uh, that's what we would have to do to drive the interview process.
So it's really on a case by case basis what exactly is going to be done and how, like, what are the next steps. So the smartest thing to do is to work with Jim and your attorney at the same time. If you don't understand these terms, if it sounds confusing, if it feels overwhelming, don't worry. Jim can explain it all to you. And also the fact that he's working with your attorney, they can look at all the details and what could they do, what are their options, so that you don't have to feel like you have to know in advance what needs to get done. The most important is that you get the proper information, and that you draft in such a way and that you're ready to go to the negotiation table with facts and numbers and a clear argument, rather than just saying, oh, I think that company's worth $10 billion and it's not even worth 3 million, right? So you want to make sure that you're speaking educationally, that you're coming with realistic conversations, so that it doesn't cause more friction with you and the other parent. Because if you come just sort of coming out of nowhere throwing numbers, I can tell you that he will likely react very severely, and you're not going to really want that, because it's going to cost you more in legal fees, and it's just creating this chaos loop of arguments. So wherever you're at in your process, where whether you're contemplating divorce, you're not sure what's happening or what's going to be happening, whether you're already separated, please do feel free to reach out to Jim. I'm sure he'd be delighted to provide you a consultation to see if and how he could help you, and maybe speak with your lawyer. Whatever he feels is the right thing, he will provide you that guidance and direction to know that you're in good hands and you have proper information. Thank you so much for being here with us, Jim. Did you want to add something?
I was just going to add that sometimes we can have the in spouse, the CEO spouse, do their valuation, and then we can take that one as a database to start with, but also to look for the inconsistencies in that report and to put the our spouse's position in place. And we can either just write a report to the court that says this is inconsistent here, here, and here. We can do a side by side with our appraisal, their appraisal, or we can actually write a new appraisal for them. So um, there's definitely tools to attack the problem if you need it.
So more options to evaluate. That's why it's even more important to speak with Jim directly and say, this is my exact situation. What do you think we can do? So thank you, Jim, for being here. Thank you all for watching. Until the next time we speak, I wish you all a day that matters. Take care, everyone.